Hi everyone, it's Nat here. Hope you're all doing well. So I'm a bit out of sorts this week, so I thought I wanted to get on and do some collaging. So I have set my alarm so that my memory card doesn't fill up before I'm finished. So that'll be good because the last big video I did that happened, so I couldn't show it because it didn't end properly. So I'm going to start with some bigger pieces. I'm doing like a sort of like a Franken paper, collage paper. So what I've done is I've put an A4 piece of paper underneath my greaseproof paper here just to give me a rough guide on the size that I want to make it. So I've got a whole lot of book pages here, whole book pages. So I'm going to start doing the bigger pieces and then I will add some like coloured bits and that to it afterwards. So I've got got Mr. Darcy on there, so it must be Pride and Prejudice. So I've got a page of that. What else have we got? It's quite white, this one, which is alright. Probably could have done it all sort of white. I quite like doing them in the wider pieces sometimes. They look really good as well. Go through and grab some. This looks like some French book, so a bit of that would be alright too. Might just grab some of the index here. And I think that's Russian, so I'll grab a bit of that, something a bit different. And I have no idea what that one is. So that's a start. Alright, make sure I have you on camera. Right. And start ripping away. So I'm not going to ink because I've got something that I want to do afterwards to colour it up. So we'll see if that works. So what I'm going to do is just rip some bits and make a page, basically. So I'm going to do the big bits first and let them overhang the edges just a little. Might do some of this from the bottom of that one. Wouldn't mind something in between that. Some of this. I don't want too neater edges on most of it. Taking a bit of this off. Something like that would be alright, so I might stick that down. Or even on top of, no, I liked it better underneath. So I'll just use my glue stick for the moment. Get a good coating on here. I wanted it up a bit higher than that. So make sure that it's sort of in line with the paper underneath. I'll trim the edges afterwards so it doesn't have to be perfect. It's just so that it's sort of in the right shape. Put some glue on this. And stick it a bit. Now this is lifting up a bit here, so I'll make sure I've got some glue under there. So I hope you're all doing alright. I tried to get out in the garden for a bit, but my poor dog, she was sort of just standing there and she wasn't moving, and I thought she had this stick in front of her and I thought, can't you get past the stick? And then I called her sort of to me and she managed to get past the stick. The stick sort of dropped and I had a bit of a giggle at her. But then she started walking a bit odd. And sometimes she gets her toenails crossed when they're starting to get a bit long and I need to get them cut. So she starts limping off. So I thought, oh, she's gone and crossed a toenail. I'll go and fix it up for her. So I go to do that and I realised her toenail wasn't crossed. And then I get a bit worried. But she started going all lopsided in the hind and was almost falling over and couldn't walk properly. It's the second time that's happened. I think neurologically something happens every now and again. Because, you know, a little while later she was fine, but yeah, it worries you. So that was the end of my gardening for the day. So I thought I'll come in and cuddle her on the couch for a bit, make sure she's all right. So, and then I got stuck watching a movie on Netflix. Some sort of Stephen Kingish horror thing, which was all right, actually. I think it was called The Tall Grass or something like that. It was all right. I haven't watched a movie for ages, so that was good. But I thought it would be great to get on and do some of this. I just felt like something a bit more mindless to do because I've been doing my design team project at nights, usually between like 11 and 2 lately, because it's nice and quiet and that's looking all right. Now I think I'll do a little bit more of my Pride and Prejudice down the bottom there. Or my Russian. I don't think I've done any Russian yet. I might do some of that. That's a nice colour. So I'm just ripping bits and putting them. I can tell you it's going to be quite crooked the way I'm going, but that's alright. Doesn't have to be perfect. That'll go alright there. Just rip a little bit of this off. Not sure if I'm going to be able to finish this in time, so it might have to be a two-parter, but we'll see. Depends how indecisive I am when it comes to adding the bits afterwards. Yeah, that's looking all right. Now, do that last side. Just stick that there, that'll do. No, be a bit more creative than that. Let's rip this down. Like that. Just slipping this around everywhere, which isn't helpful. I'll turn it over that way maybe. Just rip it in half like that, I reckon. So quite warm here today in South Australia. I think we hit about 25, so absolutely beautiful weather. Did a bit of shopping with my daughter, bought some sushi for lunch, which was nice, and of course some chocolate. Why not? Alright, now one more piece I reckon. I'm thinking maybe might be 2 more pieces if I use that. Let's just see. And then I've got some of this that might go in between. I bought some plastic containers for my buttons. I thought it'd be nice to put them like people do in jars and set them up on the shelf and that. And I'm getting so many buttons now. That's probably a good way to store them, but I'm so clumsy. I don't want to have glass. Don't want to put them in glass to store them. So I found some plastic round containers in the cheap shop, which I think I'll start putting them in. I've been collecting some of my, one of my food containers. I think it's an ice cream tub, but I try not to eat that much ice cream, so it'd take me forever to get enough of the containers for them. So I thought I'll grab, I think I've got 4 of these round containers that I'll start using. Just get this straight again a bit, so I can make sure that it fits the A4 sort of size. Yeah. Now, which way do we want that? Might not be quite, doesn't matter if it's not quite as big because I might be folding it up and putting it in a journal if it works out alright, so it doesn't matter if I cut it down a bit. They don't all have to be the same size. Put a bit of glue on this one. Alright, so that's the basis of that page. Pretty well done. And I might turn it over and have a look. Not too bad. I should have probably trimmed some of these edges. I just ripped them a bit, so I might just rip this one a little bit. It's a bit too neat for my liking. And we've just got to stick down some of these bits that we haven't stuck very well. Or at all, by the looks of that one. That'll be better for that one. A bit here that needs some sticking down. Can always go over with my little glue if I've got little edges that are worrying me afterwards. I'll just go down and stick them as I find them. Alright. Don't mind the look of both sides, they're alright, I reckon. So, I have bought out, just need some of those papers. I've bought out this container that has, I like this green for what I'm doing, and I found this graph paper. I think someone gifted me that, or it fell out of one of the books. It's got writing on the back, but I love the green graphs. I reckon that'll be great for collaging. I've got some book pictures. I've got some flower ones. I think there's another one, yep. Got one here that I'll probably use because that's in keeping with some of the ones that I'm already using. It's beautiful. Some of my DigiKit bits and cut-offs, and then just a whole lot of scrap bits and pieces in there. So we'll see what we can do with all of this just to add a bit of interest to our papers. Now, I might cut it down so it's a rough A4 size. So what I'll do is grab this piece out from underneath. Maybe if I trace around it might be the easiest way to do this. So let's have a look. It's not too bad actually. Just thinking where it would be easiest. I have a ruler and my pencil here, so I might just use them. I can come back over this side a little. There we go. Brought the little doggle's bed over behind me, so she's lying there. So yes, I have a dinner tomorrow for the organisation that I'm involved with. They're doing their handover meeting where they change the president and everything. So fortunately, it's only just across the road from me, so I can get a quick escape if I need it. Yeah. It is a licensed venue though, so I might have a stiff vodka. That always helps me with these things. I don't drink otherwise, but yeah. I'm not the world's most social person when it comes to going out and doing this sort of thing. But we will have, I think we're having a 2-course meal, so that'll be nice. Alright, so we'll just trim that up. And then we'll know where we want to put things a bit better. Now the last time I made some of this, I have a tutorial when I made some Franken paper sort of thing, but I actually stuck it down onto an A4 piece of paper, which worked out really good, but it is quite thick. Like, it was all right for covers and that, but it was a bit of a pain to fold and everything. So when you do it this way, it's not quite as thick. So if you want to use it as a page, it's a bit easier then. Trim that afterwards. Just do it quite roughly at the moment. I always go up at the corners with my scissors. You can still see some of the line, but that doesn't matter because I can rub that off afterwards. Alright, stick my paper underneath again and get doing some more ripping. So what I want is just smaller bits and bits of interest. So, you know, I might add some of this somewhere. So I might just rip a few bits. I've got some small bits to play around with. And there if I want them. Same with this green paper. I got this out of a book that I took apart for the shop because it had metal or plastic binding. I take it apart and chuck it in the bin because it can't all go in the recycling, because the skip bin that we use is just for your paper and cardboard. So sometimes there's nice coloured pages and I like to keep them. So that's that. And I know I probably do want some purple. I'm not sure if I might use a little bit of that. And I could put a flower or something on there too. Just going to rip out a few of these little bits. Good way to use them up. And then I've got some of this acrylic dyed paper. So, should be able to do something with all of that. So I don't mind that up in the corner. So I might just put it down. Okay, now I'm just thinking I might actually start using my, I've got some new glue and it's decided it just wants to jump at me as soon as I open it. No? Glue all in my finger. And everywhere. I bought new glue because the other one was getting low, so it splurts out at me. So just stick a whole lot of these little bits down to add some interest and colour. Now the thing is too is that I probably will fold it and use it as a page, which I might do real rough, just to give me a guide. So I don't necessarily want to put any of these bits quite in the middle. Well, if I do, I've got to know that they're going to be folded, so, which is all right actually, especially for the green ones, it won't matter. So I'll put that there. I love the way my purple paper turned out. I'm going to have to do a lot more of the acrylic, watered down acrylic painting of paper, because I just love the way it is. Works out really nice and it's so cheap and easy. I want to do eco dung and all that, but then I read up how to do it and I get tired just reading it, so we will see one day. Now, before I get too carried away with that, I do have the pictures that I would like to add as a focal point as well. I might stick to the ones on here. So, do a bit of ripping of that, I think. You don't have to be too neat because I want this to look quite rustic. Take this one out first. Right down the side. I don't like having the number there. I mean, it doesn't really matter, but I'm going to take them off. There. So that'll look lovely added somewhere in here. So I'll be mindful of that when I put all these other bits down as to what I think looks alright. There, I'm not going to think about it too much, because if I do I'll argue with myself. Could do with another bit of this somewhere. Rip that off. that down there. There's a bit of the note on the back. It must have been some schoolgirls that were fighting, and it was some girl writing a letter for her friends to take her back. It's a bit sad. I feel a bit intrusive reading it, but still needs more. So that one, oh, that's not quite on that corner, so just thinking, have I got something that I'd like better there? I'll just rip out one of these roses, see what I think. I can always add to this after too, if I finish it off and I feel like it needs a bit of ribbon or something like that, I can add to it. I don't mind that, but not up there. Not there even. I might keep that for somewhere else. And let's just make this a bit smaller. A bit rougher. It would look good inked, but there is a technique that I want to try other than inking, so I've got all sorts of stuff in here. Don't like that damn much either. Some of this. Quite like that. Let me just see. Overthinking as usual. Bit of stamping even would be nice on this, or stenciling. Which I might do some of that after. Right, I'm just going to stick that down. Or else we will be here forever, and that'll be my half an hour up. Put this down. Right, now I still feel it needs like something up there, but I don't want to do too much. Those little bits, they take away from it. Some more of the purple. I think I'll just leave it for now. I might even do a stamp there. But I'll have to do it off camera because I don't think I bought my stamps because I didn't think I would use them. So we'll grab another flower for this side. I've got this little one which I reckon I'll use. I'll just rip around that one, neaten up the top a bit. Pretty little flower, that one. Looks nice up against that, so I might put him up there. Hello, dog. I've just got the dog standing up at me for a pat, which is very cute. I think she's saying, "Mum, come sit with me on the couch." Cute but annoying. You get away, I'll be with you in a minute. Or 20. I'll put that one there. If she gets too impatient, I'll just make it the two-parter. Go give her some loving. Come back on when she goes to sleep. Like that, I reckon. I'm liking this bit better. Alright, now I had some of that. Where's that other piece I had? That's not it. It's a problem when you've got so much stuff, you lose bits. Because I didn't end up putting it on that one. Underneath. No. Hang on, here it is. Not quite big enough for where I want it. Not too bad down there, though could be a bit too much. So, yeah, hello dog. You're gonna annoy me, are you? Alright, and then I've got that, haven't I? That's not too bad on that side. Shall I? Yeah, why not? Just do it. Because it's going, yeah, it'll look a lot different once I do what I'm going to do with it. Since I'm not inking it, it would look a lot different to if I inked. It'll probably all fall together quite nicely as well. But you definitely don't want to sit here and watch me ink every bit that I'm putting down. Not 100% happy, but it'll do, and we'll see how it turns out. So I think we'll leave this side like that for now. In time to get on with the other side. So, rinse and repeat. Quite like this stuff. I'll be with you in a minute. Standing in the kitchen just staring at me, making me feel guilty. At least she can't get up on the table and get in my way like all everyone's cats do. It's one thing I'm thankful for. That would drive me bonkers. Gotta love them though, don't you? There, get that bit of glue off. Good way of using up, you know, scrap bits and your little bits of your DigiKit. Yeah, the DigiKit I'm using for this project is really, really good for collaging. So, having a lot of fun pulling it to bits and sticking it everywhere. I want to use this bit, but I'm not sure how I want to use it at this point. So, I think we need some of this. So because of the nice warm weather, I went and bought a cooked chook and pasta salad and everything. So we had that for tea, my daughter and myself, which was really, really nice. Love it when the summer comes and you can, you know, you want to start eating the salads a lot more and the mangoes come in season. need some more colours and stuff, you know. Don't necessarily want butterflies in that, because we do have, I just want the flowers to be the focal point, so I think we better find the next few that we want to use. So definitely do this one, I think that's beautiful. I'm sort of sticking to the purple ones. It's got the number on it again, it might have to stay on. I'll rip it off, it'll look a bit odd, but I just don't like it. Not that it looks any better once I've ripped it. Actually, what I might do is just rip some of that leaf off too, because I'm not going to miss that too much. And rip this in and then it doesn't stand out as much. Do like them on this side. And a big glue bomb. I think it's because of the warm weather, it tends to ooze out a lot more when it's warm. Stick it there. Oh, there goes my alarm. So I've got about 5 minutes, so I think I was pretty well right. We'll get this finished. And then I will do another video to show you the technique that I'm using to colour it a bit more. And if I want to do any extra stamping and that, I'll do it then as well. No, that's only a little one for that page. We do have this one. It's not purple, which wouldn't matter too much. Let's see how it looks. Just take this off. What I might do is just break that bit off as well. It's a bit more colourful, that one. I mean, there's nothing stopping me from having two on this page, which I could also do. I'll stuff it. I'm just going to stick to that one. More in keeping with the theme, and we just need 1 or 2 more bits of colour paper on there, and then I think that will do us. I've got to get a bigger memory card. Got a 4 gig memory card in my camera at the moment, and yeah, it gives me like 45 minutes if I'm lucky, and then it doesn't give you any warning, it just goes. So I figure I will get an 8 gig and see how that goes. I don't want to do 1.5 hour long videos, but you know, I'm usually just about finished and it goes on me, so. I've got some more of this in here that can be used. Actually, we'll use this up on this side. I keep closing it so it doesn't ooze and then forgetting that I've closed it. It's because I'm in a rush to get it done. It's not good crafting when you're rushing. Too bad. I could do with a stamp or something down there. So I just want 1 more bit now for up here, I reckon. That is this 1 more piece of green paper. Perfect. That'll do. I don't know how I make this much mess of my table just doing this. Such a little project, little and easy project, but geez, do I make a mess. But that's half the fun. Cleaning up afterwards, not so much. Although I do kind of get into, strangely, picking up all the different sizes of paper and putting them in their respective little packages to use again. So Alright, so that's that side. And then that's that side of our paper. So as I said, it will be like folded, something like that, and put in as pages. And there would most likely be pages in between, which will break it up nicely. So now I'm just going to go around all the edges, and I will show you what I've done when I come back for part 2. Thanks for watching, guys. See you later.